Is Iran on the path to becoming the torchbearer of rising tensions in the Middle East? The country launched unprecedented airstrikes near Pakistan's Balochistan region. Naturally, Pakistan did not keep quiet, and in retaliation, they struck two terrorist hideouts in Tehran. This comes after the nuclear-armed state vowed serious consequences in response to Iran's illegal act and said that the responsibility of these consequences lies with Iran. Pakistan also recalled their ambassador from Iran and detained the Iranian ambassador in the country. All high-level visits between both countries have been suspended for the time being. At least 7 people were killed in the Pakistani airstrikes in Iran. After the strikes, Pakistan requested Iran to avoid taking any step that will further escalate tensions between them and worsen the situation. They also issued a statement saying that the sole objective of these strikes was to protect their own security and national interest, and that otherwise they don't have any issue whatsoever with Iran. They called Iran a brotherly country and said Islamabad fully respects the sovereignty and integrity of Iran. Pakistan was the third country to be targeted by Tehran after Iraq and Syria over the past few days. 2 children were killed and a few injured in these missile and drone strikes. The irony is, these missiles were fired just hours after Pakistan's caretaker Prime Minister met Iran's foreign minister in Davos. It is safe to say that tensions hit the roof in these Islamic regions. But why is Iran targeting these nations just days after its indirect involvement in the Israel-Hamas war? Is Iran fueling the possibility of a war after 3 back-to-back strikes? What exactly is Iran's big plan? Let's take a look at the issue with Pakistan first. Iran claimed that these strikes were aimed at the Sunni militant group Jaish al-Adl. Tehran's justification is self-defense. They accuse the militant group of launching attacks against their security forces. Last month, an Iranian police station was attacked in Balochistan, in which at least 11 police officers were killed. We had to strike back to safeguard our territory, Iran said. An important thing to remember here is that Iran and Pakistan share a 959-kilometer border near Balochistan. Iran's Sunni minority resides in the border area and allegedly faces discrimination from the majority population in the region. So the two countries have had a long string of regional rivalries. But this makes you wonder, right? Is it really about defending themselves, or is Iran trying to assert dominance? This issue is raising anxiousness among many about what it means for regional stability. As we already saw, Pakistan's reaction was fiery. And guess what? They washed their hands off of any links with the Jaish al-Adl. Pakistan officials are surprised that Iran chose the illegal path despite several channels of communication between the two countries. Their major point of concern is that these strikes were dangerously close to populated areas. Analysts worry that this might upend Pakistan's delicate security situation and throw a wrench in important trading paths, especially at a time when the country is already facing a grave economic crisis. Iran gave a similar justification for its strikes in Iraq and its close ally Syria as well. They claim to have hit Israeli spy headquarters in Iraq and targets linked to anti-Iran terror groups in Syria. Both attacks in an attempt to defend Iranian security and counter terrorism. Iraq claimed that Iranians are not capable of attacking Israel, so they're just looking for victims around them, and unfortunately, Iraqis are the ones paying the price for it. Many global leaders and the United Nations condemned Iran's attacks, accusing them of escalating tensions and instability in the region. The issue is, these strikes are not isolated. They're all linked and could blow up into a large global war. The region is already very volatile due to the Israel-Hamas war and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Despite their backing of Hamas attacks on Israel, Iran has been claiming that they want to avoid a larger conflict, but their actions obviously seem to speak otherwise. They're clearly voicing their views against Israel and its Western allies. Iranian-backed Houthis from Yemen are attacking shipping vessels in the Red Sea. Though US and UK launched retaliatory strikes on Iran, the shipping attacks have not stopped. The Hezbollah group from Lebanon continues to strike northern Israel. Iran itself targeted US-based camps in Iraq and Syria at least 130 times over the past 3 months. Now, whether or not Iran wants a global war, innocent civilians are getting caught in the middle of this human tragedy. People are getting hurt, families torn, and homes destroyed. The more these strikes continue, the more people get hurt. This could mean involvement of big allies. And once any of the global superpowers decides to get involved, the tensions will automatically flare up into a situation of war. It's a complex mess when you think about it. History, geopolitics, and real lives all tangled up. Different views, different goals. But one thing is the same: everybody's suffering. It's a story we'll definitely keep our eyes on. Stay tuned.